I'm gonna be honest, TikTok. I really thought my account was gonna be taken down today. I did. Well, I can keep trying, okay? So, this video is for the Hunkeh Heifers, okay? We need to give you your hunk of truth. We got to do that, Hunkehs, okay? Now, this Ritalin is the best. It is the best treatment for you, Hunkehs, okay? Because it shows who you are and who you aren't, okay? Now, I usually do a book study on the first part, outlining how you guys were throwing that ass around in a circle on the plantation, huh? But I believe I'm going to go ahead and go to part 2. And it's just a little bit. It's the truth you need, okay, to begin your Hunkeh journeys, okay? Now, I do book studies where I create questions, simple questions from the book and give the answer. And that is just to give y'all insight to the book without reading it. Now, it's not reading the book. It's just saying, okay, this is what's in there, this is what's in there, and this is there. And what's in this part is the truth of the Hunkehs, the Hunkeh Heifers. Okay, so they were literally throwing that ass around a circle on the plantation. They were, okay? And there's records of all this Hunkeh shit. You can go look all this shit up. This is the Hunkeh, the slave owner who acquired a Hunkeh indentured servant and I think like 5 enslaved children because she ended up marrying his black enslaved man. And 100 years later, black people, descendants of that Hunkeh, ended up getting their freedom because of her womb Satan. But that only lasted like 20, 30 years and they shut that shit down, okay? I have not read this book, but I believe this is the book that you could find out all that information, okay? Now, part 2 is after the Civil War, okay? With Triple K coming into play. Here's a little photo of the Hunkehs. There's a story in the book of a man being, abused and everything. And one of the Hunkeh men was wearing his wife's dress. They were wearing dresses first. I'll go ahead and sit with that for a second. Okay. But we're going to also include the Hunkeh Heifers because they started their own sect of the Triple K because the men didn't want the Hunkeh Heifers in there, They didn't want them catching them doing the circle jerks and having fun with the farm animals, okay? Or they didn't want to get jealous. They didn't want to start a fight. You know what I'm talking about? And what we're seeing here is 150% cooperation, okay? Partnership in violence against black men and black people. Did you know some of the Circle K Hunkeh boys had black girlfriends? Did you know that? The problem the Hunkeh men were having is now that black people weren't owned by white team men, now they were a threat. Why? Because they knew their Hunkeh Heifer wives, sisters, daughters, mothers were throwing that ass around a circle in the slave quarters. They know that. There's court records of it. One Hunkeh man tried to divorce her, and she had some kids with an enslaved man and everything. The court was like, no, that's your fault. You knew she was a hoe when you met her. Okay? So they had to create some Hunkeh shit, for gaslighting. Okay? They had to create the shit. So here we see white female purity in the post-Reconstruction South was dependent upon images of black men as bestial. And this lady's a scholar. She don't even care about that being spelled wrong. That's fucked up, okay? That's why I can't trust you scholars, you Hunkeh scholars. I just can't. Anyway, and a white woman's innocence was contingent upon assault by a black man rather than a Hunkeh man. At the same time, the purity of the Hunkeh Heifers was also dependent upon images of black women as depraved, okay? Y'all's identity has always depended on black people. It really has. Now, here's some more gaslighting. This is when this physician, a respected physician, was basically saying, Hunkeh Heifers would never get with a Negro. Never. They would never do it. And it wasn't permissible. Hunkeh Heifers was black men was example before the Civil War was they had a toleration of it. Basically, that meant they knew it was going on, but never said anything until it got to the courts. And that's when the whole Hunkeh community came out and was like, no, that white woman, she is a Hunkeh hoe. The black enslaved man is innocent. White women were maligned prior to the Civil War. because that black man was property. He was valuable, and that hunky man did not want to lose that. However, when your hunky government did an investigation and all the stuff that was going on with your hunky men and deleting black men, let's take a peek at what he says about Hunkeh Heifer purity, shall we? It is certain that the inevitable tendency of American slavery is not only to bring about promiscuous relations among the black people and between black women and hunky men, but also to involve Hunkeh Heifers in the general depravity and to lower the standard of female purity. He continues, the subject is repulsive, but whoever examines critically the evidence of the social condition of the slave states sees that the vaunted superior virtue of Southern women a mere boast and sham. It's a fraud. It's a lie. It's Hunkeh shit. Okay? You're welcome. Hunkers.